that for the Zooms. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Now it's being
We have to
recorded.
agree to it, huh?
Hello.
Everybody's here.
Mimi, we love those cookies.
She can hear you.
Yeah. Is she on?
Hey, Jane, I got your songs converted. I just didn't get a chance to respond to your email yet.
Oh, well, that's okay. I was kind of late getting them sent.
No problem. Hey, Kent. I hadn't seen you in a while.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
All right. How's the arm, Walter?
Not good.
Sorry to hear
I'm
that.
off to the physical therapist tomorrow. I'm going to get it checked out and see what kind of shape I'm in. My hand here is all swollen up. I don't know if you can see how badly it is.
Walter.
It's like a tennis ball.
Mhm.
And until I get this fixed, I'm probably not going to be able to play the ukulele at all.
I don't see how you could. That does not look good at all. In fact, it looks worse than it did a week ago. I thought by a week out it'd start to get better.
That's about the same. But the fact that it's about the same means that I'm still in pretty sad shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
But I'm seeing a hand expert tomorrow.
Did you hurt your hand? I thought you fell on your shoulder and it was just draining in your
I
hand.
I fell on my shoulder, but I also fell on my hand. When I fell, what happened was I slammed my shoulder into my dresser, and then I came down and landed on my hand.
Oh.
So, if I'm going to injure myself, I'll take it really seriously.
You're gonna do it
Do it right.
Yeah, leave no stone unturned.
That's right.
Goodness.
I don't mess around.
Paul, was I supposed to send you some songs that I wanted to try playing? Or how does it work?
You don't have to. You can just play them. But if you want other people to try to play along, you can send it ahead of time and I'll put it on the screen.
Is it too
Paul, I
late to
sent
send
this
it
to
now?
you.
Probably not. Send me whatever you've got. Do you have my email address handy?
I was gonna reply to the,
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
okay.
Paul, I just sent you one.
Okay, let me check my email.
Mimi.
Yes.
Those cookies were wonderful. In fact, we're doling them out very carefully, so they're still.
Yeah, I put them in the freezer and
Yeah.
I doled them out to,
They're
very
great.
carefully too. I'm glad you like them.
Yes.
Oops.
I don't see your email yet, Kent.
Oh, I guess it helps if I press the button to send it, doesn't it?
Oh, there you go. So what's our agenda tonight? Do you want to play through our two performance songs first and then do the open mic stuff?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
All right. Hey, look at this. I got an email from Kent.
Cool.
What are we playing first?
Stand by me, I think we decided.
Yes.
Because oobla dee, oobla da is more of like, get everybody up and
Okay.
bouncing.
Just to satisfy my curiosity, who's going to be there next? What is it, Saturday? Okay, nobody's afraid of the stage 4 stuff. Sounds good.
Well, I'm a little afraid of it, but whatever.
Isn't that where we're going to be standing though, up on stage 4?
Exactly. Yeah, we should be perfectly
And
safe on
stages
stage
1
4.
through 3? Or just one stage 4?
All right.
I think we're referring to stage 4.
Oh,
You know,
stage 4, you're right. Oh, duh.
Yeah, stage 4. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Territory.
I'm
There's
clearly
only
blind.
one.
The
Delta.
pandemic is back.
There's only
Category.
one stage, and everybody's going to be on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be singing, so I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes.
Just
Can't sing with our masks on.
That just occurred to me.
Gary says, "Don't lick the microphone."
So I emailed Jen, and she said they're going to ask people when they're not at their table to wear a mask, and they're going to clean the microphone in between performances. So you can lick the microphone if you want to.
The pit.
Try to restrain yourself, however.
Yeah.
It won't be too hard.
Yeah, and we're supposed to bring our own music stands, as I understand it, for this.
I guess so. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, well, see, Kevin used to bring extra music stands, and he didn't seem to be particularly encouraging of people to bring their own. But, I feel more comfortable bringing mine because then at least I know it's going to be there. And I don't like the idea of not being able to see, if
Yeah,
I had to look over somebody's shoulder or something. So it seems like it would be a wise thing for people to bring their own music stands.
The only reason I have my doubts about everybody bringing a music stand is the last time we had a open mic there, it was kind of crowded, and if everybody in there had their own music stand in hand, it would be quite the.
It's pretty smart, I think, to bring maybe half the music stands and people will share.
Yeah,
That's-
just bring them, and then we'll know what we need, and we'll have.
Yeah,
Right, you can bring them, but then not
Yeah.
necessarily have to bring them up.
In the car.
Right, we want, I think of one per 2 people. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
All right, cool. That sounds like a
Just leave them in
plan.
the car.
Yeah, leave it in the car, and you can run and get it if you need it. Perfect. Hey, look at that. Barbara's here.
They didn't hear us.
Hey, Barbara.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
I thought I was muted. I'm wailing away. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm almost set up. Sorry for the delay.
Barbara, what's the temperature up there?
Oh, I guess it's like 79 right now.
Oh,
yeah, it's the opposite here.
Oh,
Positively balmy,
97.
obviously.
All right. So, Gary and Paulette, y'all are going to count us in on both of these. Is that still the plan?
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right.
Quick question. I've got my kazoo here. Do you want me to play it?
Yes.
So I will play it when this kazoo part comes up. Okay.
Yeah,
The
if
instrumental break part, yeah.
If just the two
Just
of
making
us are unmuted, it seems to be okay.
Especially if all you play is the kazoo part, and obviously you're not playing the
Yeah.
uke tonight, so that's not really an issue. So, all right, cool. That sounds like a plan. Everybody else mute yourselves and count us in when you're ready.
Alrighty. Okay. Oh, and remember the pauses before the A minors. So, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
That sounded great to me. Why don't we just go straight to our next song?
Is the kazoo okay?
Yeah, kazoo was great.
Fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okie dokie.
Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to count.
Here, got the guy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace. Molly is a singer in the band. Desmond says to Molly, girl, I like your face. And Molly says she takes him by the hand. Oh, goody, oh, goes on. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on. La, la, how the life goes on. Desmond takes a trolley to the jeweler's store, buys a 20-carat golden ring, takes it back to Molly waiting at the door, and as he gives it to her, she begins to sing. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built their home, sweet home. A couple of kids running in the yard of Desmond and Molly Jones. Happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond lets the children lend a hand. Molly stays at home and does her pretty face, and in the evening she still sings it with the band. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. In a couple of years they have built their home, sweet home. Just like kids running in the yard of Desmond and Molly Jones. Happy ever after in the marketplace. Molly lets the children lend a hand. Desmond stays at home and does his pretty face, and in the evening keeps a singer with the band. Bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. Oh, bloody, oh, blah, life goes on, brah. La, la, how the life goes on. And if you want some fun, think of bloody, la, la.
All right, that sounded great.
Okay, good.
Does anybody else want to run through it again? Since we obviously can't hear each other, now's the chance to speak up if you want another practice run. All right, perfect. It's all under control.
We'll find out come Saturday at 4
Yeah.
p.m.
Oh, Walter, I love that laugh. I hope you'll get close.
Good
You don't
laughing,
normally need to be
yes. Please
close to the
laugh.
mic for the kazoo, but I think you might need to be for that laugh to come across.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, who wants to play a song for us? Oh, how about Mary Jane? You want to kick us off? Oh. Oh, you're muted.
Hey, Barbara, what are we eating?
Mary Jane, you're muted.
Leftovers.
Well,
Leftovers. Want some, Marty?
I'm
Leftovers.
jealous.
It's got
Yeah.
rice and vegetables and some peanuts. Want some?
That sounds good. Poke some through your camera, would you?
Sure, no problem.
Tuna baggage.
Oh, Morgan said it's called tuna bagatelle. What he named it.
All right.
All right. Yeah, sorry to be eating in front of you, but it's 8 o'clock here and I hadn't eaten, so I hope you'll
Oh my
understand.
goodness.
That's
No problem.
perfectly acceptable.
We're not in a position to want you to share. Yeah, well, does he have the song sheet up yet? I'm assuming I'm back, and the other one,
Okay,
Colors is the
Colors.
one I was going to do, and I'm saving that one for the happy hour.
All right. There
Okay.
you go then.
Colors by Donovan Leach.
Anybody who's going to play along, please mute.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've even got a kazoo part on this one. Yellow is the color morning, when we rise, in the morning, when we rise, that's the time, that's the time I love the best. Mellow is the feeling that I get when I see her. When I see her, that's the time, that's the time I love the best. Freedom is a word I rarely use without thinking. Without thinking of the time when I'm in love.
Thank you.
That was nice.
I love that song.
Donovan Leach. Oh, I guess I know who he is.
Well, I didn't know what his last name was for a long time. You know, they just call him Donovan, and he was a
Oh.
British, kind of the British Bob Dylan, some people called him.
Well, I guess I know the one named Donovan. I just didn't realize that's who this was.
Back in the age of baby boomers, he was incredibly popular.
Really?
I went to see him at the Anaheim Stadium back in about 1968, and you would not believe how people were like swooning all over him. They thought he was like the best thing ever. It was pretty funny, actually.
Maybe we're too old to swoon like that. Something for young teenagers to do.
Kent, you want to play your song?
I guess it helps if I go off mute.
We will hear you better that way. This is yours, right? I got the right one.
This is the right one.
Oh.
Okay. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows
That really takes me back. That was
Really, me
great.
too.
A lot better than Donovan. It was
Oh, I like Donovan too, though.
no Donovan was
New Christy Minstrels, if you remember.
Yeah.
worthy. Okay, I was going to ask you who it was that sang that because I really remember that song.
Yeah.
It was lots of
Like that.
fun.
It really keeps you on your toes too, the way you
Yeah.
did the change in the key, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like what?
I really
That's
like
fun.
the
It's
key
a
change.
fun song. It's easy, actually.
Harmonies
Right.
for it are nice too. I like to do those.
Next
Well,
time
good
you
choice.
pick one with a bunch of chords in it.
Keep
Well,
going.
it's not so bad when the chord diagrams are right there where you need them. So I like that format.
Yeah. That does make it better. And I guess that's-
Christine,
the one that really threw me off was that, what was it? The one that's
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 3.
yeah,
It wasn't until I pulled that apart, Marty, instead of trying to bar it, if you put your 2 fingers on that and the 2 fingers there, it's really easy. And then you just lift everything off to go to the C. See what I did?
mm-hmm.
Let me absorb that a little better. Oh, I see what you did, yeah.
My songbook says it was written by Randy Sparks and it was also performed by John Denver.
Yeah, John Denver, if you look up on YouTube, it's who you normally find singing it. Randy Sparks was with New Christy Minstrels.
What was that chord I was telling you about, Kent? That 1, 2, 1, 3. What's the name of that chord?
It's an F minor 6.
Okay.
Luckily, it only shows up twice, Walter.
The F minor 6.
Yeah, that.
By the time I figured it
Marty?
out, I didn't get to play it anymore.
Not that hard to play though.
No, it's really not. I was doing it with the bar, and I was a little slow to get into it and out of it. But the other way is easier, I think. I've played it that way in other contexts, but I don't play it often enough to where I know it off the top of my head.
And I can't get my little finger to go right behind that 3rd fret. It wants to be just on the other side of the 2nd fret. You know, I mean, it's the right fret, but I can't get it to move over far enough.
So is it buzzing?
I put my little finger on the C.
Well,
It's
that's what
my ring finger that goes on the
I
second.
can't get my little finger to be at this portion on the fret. I can only get it to there when I do the, I guess, really stretch. I'd have to work on that.
You know what I do is kick your elbow way out, and it sort of rotates your wrist, and your finger points over a little easier, or at least mine
That's
does.
what I need to do. Because it was, when I'm down like this,
Yeah.
my wrist,
Yeah.
my little finger wants to tuck toward the heads of the uke.
Yeah, mine too.
All right. Well, thanks for the lesson.
Christine, you want to sing us your song?
Okay. So this one, I decided that I wanted to use that really easy chord progression that I always do with the F minor, and then just keep sliding and slide down. And that's all it is there's just one chord and then all those bar chords. And so I decided, since I always make jokey songs, I wanted to try to do a melancholy thing about regret, about saying something wrong and regretting it and not being able to say you're sorry. So anyway, it goes like this. Well, I've been talking in Why did I let my ego rule? You've been my friend, consistent. How could I act so selfishly that day? On that day, well, I've been talking in my sleep and walking in my sleep this way. I've been wondering what to do and feeling really blue all day. Hey, well, I was wrong. I should have told you so. I was wrong, and I will let you know one day. One day, someday.
How about that?
I kind of freak out when I start. I do well when I'm alone, and then I freak out when I start. My voice is very small.
Yeah, I think
Anyway.
that's
great.
Yeah, I thought it was great too.
Great.
But it's like a really easy, it's almost like a sketch because I kind of know what I want. I can hear those chords, but I don't know how to make those kind of dramatic chords. And so, just sliding up and down like that gets close to what I'm hearing in my head, but I
Yeah.
don't know how to make the more, complicated chords. It's just, but it's like close.
It sounded great to me.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks.
You've got a talent for writing that kind of stuff.
I've only written 2 or 3.
Well,
Keep going. 'cause
I've been real good.
great.
Well, thank you. You're gonna jinx it, Marty.
Taste it?
Jinx.
I said you're gonna jinx it.
Oh, jinx.
I'll never write again.
All right, there's the next song. I'll never write
Again.
as long as Marty's around.
Marty, you want to play a song?
Nope, I don't have anything tonight.
Dina, you want to play a song?
I ain't got nothing new either. I wanted to hear the same thing I played last week, or 2 or 3 weeks ago. I still been playing that over and over again.
Dina and I are playing the same song tonight.
Mimi, how about you?
I don't really have anything.
All right. Let's see. Oh, so Vany, you sent 3 songs. You want to play one of them? Or all of them?
Island style. We'll start with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Oops. Is that too far? Can y'all still see it?
I can see it.
Okay, so.
It all depends on the size of your screen.
On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Again. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Mama's in the kitchen cooking dinner real nice. Beef stew on the beef stew on the stove. Loamy salmon with the ice. We eat and drink and we sing all day. Kanikapilla in the old Hawaiian way on the island. Can you scroll up, please? We do it island style. Thank you. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Once we're on the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. We go grandma's house on the weekend clean yard. If we no go, grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma, she like boy real sour. I love my grandma every minute, every hour on the island. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Once more. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. And then the ending. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Slow ending. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Lots of mistakes, but it's a fun song.
It's a good song.
It was a fun song.
Yeah.
That's a catchy tune.
Happy one.
Well, as long as I got your music up, do you want to do another one?
Let me do Freight Train last, maybe Dimming of the Day next. These are not like, you know how the moods always change from song to song, so these wouldn't follow each other. So in this one, I'm just a beginner, so I don't really have any technique per se. So I haven't figured out how to strum this, so I just do single strums. So maybe if someone knows better, they can tell me. And it's got two chords that I don't see often, which is G5 and E. And it's pretty simple. G5 is right there, and then E is at the bottom. Yeah, I guess there are many ways to play E, but I'm fine with, I like this one.
I find that one hard. I have my E and I'll stick with it, but yeah.
How do you play your E?
I bar on the 3rd fret with my ring finger, and then my index finger goes on the, wait, is that it? Oh, I was off by a fret, sorry. I bar on the 4th fret, and then my index finger goes on the 2nd fret. So you have to bend your finger backwards enough to where those top 3 strings are barred, and your ring finger doesn't touch the bottom string, so it'll still ring out.
Right.
But
bar the 4th, you gotta still leave the GCAE string.
Right. And you can do it you can sort of turn it around where you bar all the strings on the 4th and put your pinky on the 7th fret.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that one's also pretty easy.
Yeah, sounds a little different to my ear, but maybe I'm not playing it right.
It
bar
sounds...
the 4th and pinky on
7th.
7th fret where?
On the A string, the lowest string on the... Yeah, that's it. It sounds different, but it's still an E.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I know all the new chords now.
Yeah, 5 chords, pretty simple. This old house is full. I went to start. I'm going to start again. Started too high. Started too high. Too high. This old house is falling down around my ears. I'm drowning in a river of my tears. When all my will is gone, you hold me swaying. I need you at the dimming of the day. You pull me like the moon pulls on the tide. You know just where I keep my better side. What days have come to keep us far apart? A broken promise or a broken heart. Now all the bonny birds have wheeled away. I need you at the dimming of the day. Come the night, you're only what I want. Come the night, you could be my confidant. I see you in the street in company. Why don't you come and ease your mind with me? I'm living for the night we steal away. I need you at the dimming of the day. I need you at the dimming of the day. That's it.
Oh, I thought that was
Very
really nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
And I think that some song like that, a strum per chord is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But you know Richard Thompson, one of the best guitar players ever. But not even competing there, but yeah.
Well, you can always try to imitate what somebody else has recorded too. That's usually what I do.
It's beyond my level right now. But who is it? Bonnie Raitt also sings this song, and she does something different with some of the notes.
Wow, I thought that sounded great.
G5, I was looking at that G5 and I did it like the chart, but it sounded just awful. And so what am I doing?
Well, you're probably off by a fret because see this 3 here? It's telling you that this is the 3rd fret, this is the 2nd fret. So you probably need to shift up a fret.
Was it me? Was I playing the wrong chord?
I didn't notice you playing it wrong.
No, I just know that my chord didn't sound at all like anything. It sounds like weird when I'm doing it like it says.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you do have to. You don't start with the 1st fret like Paul is saying.
So it's 0, 2, 3, 5.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, how do you know that?
That's what the 3 says.
I learned something tonight.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
You basically, when you're playing the A, you can slide down to the 2nd fret with your index. And
yeah. Way better.
Yeah, that's
I had a rotten chord.
What she was singing. So.
Hard to figure out on the fly, though.
Yeah.
Well, you want to do your 3rd? Since you sent us 3, you got to do all 3.
yeah, I don't mind. But as you can see, I'm just a beginner, so I make a lot of mistakes.
It sounds very nice, though.
Thank you. You're being very kind.
Well, this one is a classic.
This one is a classic, yes. Freight train running so fast. Freight train could finger to maybe I'll not finger pick. Let's start over. Freight train running so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know what route I've gone. When I'm dead and in my grave, no more good times, here I pray. Place the stones at my head and feet, tell them all that I've gone to sleep. Freight train running so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know what route I've gone. When I die, Lord, bury me deep, way down on Old Chestnut Street. Then I can hear old number 9 as she comes rolling by.
Very good. I love that song.
You're ripping it there. Really good.
Say that again, Marty?
I said you're ripping it there.
Yeah.
No.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. There are more verses, but not in that version.
I thought that sounded great.
You can do it on a loop, you know. Thank you.
Really good chords. I like those together.
Beautiful. Actually, there are different versions of that too. You can, not just different keys, but instead of G7, you can play a G and mix it around. But I've seen different versions of it.
That one's been around long enough. There's lots of different verses and ways to play it.
Right.
We got to see Gary Clark Jr. Play
Before
that.
he was famous.
Before he was famous, he was playing at a little festival in Marble Falls, and man, he's good.
Well, the original Elizabeth Cotton version is insanely amazing.
Yeah, well, she was an amazing guitar player. She played, I think she played.
And I think one of the YouTube versions is like 7 minutes, and she's talking, and then she sings, and then she's finger picking. It's long.
So, except for Mary Jane's other song, which I guess we'll do after the beer break, that's all the music people sent. Oh wait, what's this? Yeah, that's all the music people sent. Does anybody have a song they want to play that I don't have music for?
Are you gonna?
Oh, you don't have one?
I didn't make one this week. No. I'll play one. Let's see.
did that from memory.
That's one of my catalog.
All right. How many songs are you up to now?
10 or 11, something like that.
Wow.
You do them daily? You practice them daily?
Mostly. Some of them I feel I get away from and I don't practice them very often. And that's one of them. I haven't played it in a while, but I did play it right before the meeting, so it was kind of fresh in mind. But I have others that I have sort of as memorized as they need to be, but I don't play them as smoothly as I want, so I play those more often. So, and I've been changing around Over the Rainbow a little bit, or experimenting with changes to that, but that still needs work, so I play that pretty frequently.
That Pink Floyd?
That was the Pink Floyd song, yeah. That's Is Anybody Out There?
Yeah.
From The Wall.
That was really good.
Well, if everybody's done their thing, how about a break for a beer?
I'm in favor of that.
Everybody go get your beer or other beverage of choice, and be back in a few minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna say good night to everybody, but it's great to see you.
Good night, Barbara.
Good night.
Good seeing you again.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Walter, are you having to do exercises for your hand to kind of get back in shape, or is it too early for that?
It's kind of early, actually. I'm pretty much taking it easy right now because I can barely lift. I mean, I try to lift my hand up and I really can't do it.
Wow.
That's how bad of shape I'm in right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing the doctor tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit better. But I think it's going to be slow.
Therapy yet? We're waiting to see what the doctor says.
I'm just trying to see if I can lift my hand up. I really can't lift it. See, I have to lift it with the other hand.
Oh, God.
That's what's so sad about this right now. That's why I can't play anything.
I hurt my shoulder some time ago, and it was like I needed to get, and I'm right-handed. It was my right shoulder, and I had to reach something that I needed a little dexterity with. I had to do it like this.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. It's
That's
pretty
so
sad.
weird.
I'm hoping I'll get to the point where I'm able to use my left hand enough to be able to put it around the neck of the uke. But right now, can't do it.
You need to prop up the uke in the sling somehow.
I'd have to play a lot of C chords or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been trying to just kind of like cup it around and play it down here because that's the only way I can grab it.
Can you move your fingers enough, even if you could hold your arm up?
If I play the chords slowly.
Yeah, your fingers are so swollen. I don't know how you could.
Well, that's the problem. See, I can do this.
Sounds pretty good.
You're playing,
that's
man.
about as well as I can do it. It asked me to play something besides C or G, and I'm pretty much out of luck.
You need to break out the one chord songs, I guess.
Yeah. I'm remembering Kevin's his big collection of one chord songs.
That's what is it, Texas Cooking?
No, it was let's see.
Texas Cooking is one chord, isn't it? Maybe not. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping?
It's G.
Brother John. You know, that's about as sophisticated as it gets.
The Coconut Song, that's a one chord song.
Yeah, but I hate that song. I'll just pass on that.
Funny to me when you hear that Guy Clark play that Texas Cooking song. It actually sounds good, but I really get bored with just that one chord the whole time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it sounds good. I guess it's more like a poem that he's just saying or singing slightly with.
Well, I can't help but think that there's a way to do the song that uses 2 or 3 chords at least that you can do and doesn't sound quite so bad.
Yeah. Well, when he does it, it sounds good to me.
Does he do it?
It sounds a lot better than when we play it.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. He's doing something different.
I was going to ask, does he do just one chord himself, or maybe he does more than one chord?
I don't know. Maybe we probably got a homework assignment now.
Yeah. All right. As if I didn't have enough homework assignments. Oh, speaking of which, Marty, I don't know if you listened to that last stack of tracks, but if you don't have something specific for me to fix, I'm out of ideas to make it better. So that's either as good as it's going to get, or you're always welcome to do it yourself. You don't feel obligated to take what I've put together.
Well, to me, what needs to happen next, let me fill everybody else in. I set it up where Paul could work on the audio for this month's video thing. I'm working on the video and he's working on the audio, and but we're to a point now where Paul has modified it and done it, smashed it around as much as he can to make it sound good. And what I think is helpful when you're doing that, Paul, is to have the video, the finished video, and you can kind of use that as a little bit of an aid to kind of see when something might need to be, if a particular person come on screen, you might amp them up a little bit or something. So
yeah, I haven't put
as far as you can.
Yeah, I certainly couldn't do that, but I'd be willing to try if you shoot me like a prototype version of the video. Yeah. I'll look at that. All right.
Well, we're about to run out of time. I'm not through with it yet. I've done what I would say is staging. I make a full video with a bunch of people in it, and then a subset of those people, and then another subset, and then I start smashing it together. So I've been doing all the prep work, and tomorrow it's going to be put together as the final thing, I hope. And then the audio comes in.
Is this for the Bob Guz video?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I missed the deadline. Sorry. Just been busy.
Who said that?
Vany. Hey, Marty.
Oh, Vany. Okay. Sorry, but we had a little accelerated deadline this time because I had to get everybody in time for me to do the video before I leave town, because I'm leaving town Saturday.
Don't apologize. It's my problem. I've just been too busy.
I understand. Well, all right. Well, send me a rough copy of the video, and I'll look into like places to change the volume of just whoever's on the screen, that sort of thing.
I'll do it when it's sendable.
Yeah. All right.
Not there yet.
I can work on it again tomorrow night.
All right.
I hope in the end this saves you some time. It's not clear that it's going to, but I'll try.
I can tell you're going to make it work, and well, it's kind of an artistic thing, when is the painting finished,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not perfect, but to me, that's part of the process. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah.
And what I've decided was, at first, when I was doing these things, I was trying to make it absolutely perfect sounding and everything great. And then I realized, well, what we're trying to emulate is what would happen if we were there at the meeting together in person. And not everyone would be exactly at the right tempo or the right tone or the right volume level. So a little of this and a little of that is not bad.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad to
I
hear
don't
you
know,
say that.
Marty. They look pretty perfect to me.
Well, believe it or not, and Paul can attest to this now, you got to listen to it a bunch of times and play with these different audio levels and everything. And I'm trying to make it sound as good as I can, but I don't want it to, but I also want it to sound like everybody's got a part in it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the trade-off I've been struggling with. What's up, Dina?
I have an off-topic question. Christine, what is that behind you?
The sailboat.
It's a teepee.
Ah.
I was like, is it a teepee or a sailboat? Okay, so it is a teepee. Tell us about that teepee.
So sometimes my grandson sleeps over and he sleeps in the teepee.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he's scared to sleep outside of our room, so we put up a teepee and
nice.
he feels happy. It's real comfortable. I mean, he can stretch out. It's real big. So it's not child abuse.
When my niece was younger, she would sleep. I don't know if she ever spent the night in it, but she would set up a tent in the living room and play. So.
Yeah. Yeah, his parents went to a wedding this weekend, and so we were trying to make it fun, like, oh, you get to sleep in the teepee,
Yeah.
And it worked.
How old?
3.
3,
That's what
3, yeah. So he was a little scared to be away from mom. So it was fun though.
Maybe you better go to bed. You're right.
Nodding off.
Maybe we should play something really loud.
We should play a lullaby is what we should play.
I could play my song and get it over with if people are starting to go to sleep.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Here we go.
It got so hot last night, I swear, you couldn't hardly breathe. Heat, lightning burnt the sky like alcohol. I sat on the porch without my shoes and I watched the cars roll by as the headlights raced to the corner of the kitchen wall. Mama dear, your boy is here, far across the sea, waiting for that sacred core that burns inside of me. And I feel a storm all wet and warm, not 10 miles away, approaching my Mexican home. My God, I cried, it's so hot inside, you could die in the living room. Take the fan from the window, prop the door back with a broom. The cuckoo clock has died of shock, and the windows feel no pain. The air's as still as the throttle on a funeral train. by the light of the moon. So it's hurry, hurry, step right up. It's a matter of life or death. The sun is going down and the moon is just holding its breath. Mama dear, your boy is here far across the sea, waiting for that sacred core that burns inside of me. And I feel a storm all wet and warm, not 10 miles away, approaching my Mexican home. Mama dear, your boy is here far across the sea, waiting for that sacred fire that burns inside of me. And I feel a storm all wet and warm, not 10 miles away, approaching my Mexican home. Approaching my Mexican home. Approaching my Mexican home. I got it.
There it is.
Weirded out because red.
Not bad for a
Not
singing.
ready to prove. Yeah, just a simple little thing like that can throw you off.
Yeah.
Say, what happened to my break here? Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
I'll patch that up before I put it on.
Phoebe, go to bed.
You know, there's a certain pathos about this song that, and it's good for the summer, you know, because it talks about being so hot.
Yes.
You find the most interesting music. I love the music you find. It's great.
That reminds me so much of one summer when I was a kid. The air conditioner was broken. We were living in East Texas. My mother didn't have money to fix it, so we spent the summer without an air conditioner and had the windows open. And there was an attic fan that would suck air in through the windows, and I would sleep upside down on my bed with my head at the foot of the bed because my face would be in front of the window. And it was so hard to fall asleep when it was so hot like that. I felt like he was singing my song.
Work to put Mimi to sleep.
Of course, I'm a lot older than y'all. We didn't have air conditioning. Wasn't any breaking to it. It just didn't have any.
Well, if the house is old enough, it was at least built for ventilation. And
Yeah.
fortunately, that house that I was living in then had that fan. So even though the windows were not arranged well to catch a breeze, you at least had an artificial breeze, and it worked pretty well. It wasn't so bad. I had survived.
I can't concentrate for looking at Mimi.
How come you guys record these Zooms?
Why?
Yeah.
Just for fun. You can go back and look at your old performances and see how you've improved over the last 18 months or whatever.
Oh, okay.
No real good reason. Mostly because I volunteered to do it, and so I just do it out of habit.
Blackmail. It's blackmail.
Yeah. They all go on YouTube. Did you know that?
Yeah, I have seen your previous ones.
Okay.
I saw them, yeah. And it is cool to see it, but I was just wondering why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are real useful to me because if somebody does a song that I really like, I can just go back and listen to what they did and, you know, maybe even learn the song right off of that particular video.
There's a handful of people who watch them pretty regularly. They'll watch them tomorrow because tonight they've got something else going on or whatever. So there's some people besides us, how many is it tonight? 10, who will look at them, but not many more. They'll get about 25 or 30 views.
I had to miss a week, and then I caught up by watching the whole thing, caught up on the gossip, and practiced the song. So
Gotta finish talking about that last song. I love that line in there. It was something, the night was as steady as the throttle on a funeral train. I love
Yeah.
That guy had such a great way.
Yeah, he's just one of those great songwriters that
He really is.
put some really nice phrases. I kind of like the one about I sipped bourbon and cried on the porch outside with a friend.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, well, what is his mother thinking? Is sometimes his mother might have preferred that she be in consoling her instead of getting drunk on the porch with a friend.
We all grieve in our own way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, it reminded me that everybody needs their own consolation, and maybe it's not such a good idea to do it with family, to have your own friend who's going to sympathize with you in your own way. And
yeah, when you're being consoled, you're not in any position to console somebody else anyway.
Right. That's
It made me wonder, did he really live in Mexico for a while?
well, that I don't know. I don't know how much of it has any kind of truth at all. It sounds like he did, but then it's kind of a confusing song. You can't really figure out exactly where he is, because if he's far across the sea, and is talking to his mother, I thought his mother was there in the house in Mexico. So that was what confused me about it.
Well,
that's what's good about recording. We can go back and look at the words and try to figure it out.
Yeah, well, I didn't completely figure it out, but I finally just decided I liked it so much I was going to sing it anyway, whether I knew what it was talking about or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody was interviewing Willie Nelson one time about a song, and he had mentioned in this song something about he was in the Navy, and the interviewer said, well, I thought you were in the Army. He said, yeah, but I could get it to rhyme so much better if I was in Make perfect sense.
I don't think there's any rule that a songwriter has to write about just autobiographical things. They can
That's right.
make it up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I'm going to leave a little early tonight, guys. But I had a good time tonight, and I'll see y'all in September.
Wow.
Have a good trip, Mark.
Well, this is going to be a long road trip you're on.
We're going all the way up to Maine.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, you've got your president's son's phone and phone network, so you can dial in on a Tuesday night while you're on the road.
Maybe I could if I could get him interested in my problems.
you should dial in on the kick butt coffee thing and do our introduction.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you for
FaceTime. We'll
that.
hold the phone up. Here's Marty.
There you
Did
go.
we ever figure out about the introduction since Marty's not going to be
No. It's like this.
Yes, right. Nobody's claiming that role.
there? I mean, we can do something.
Yeah, we were
We were
talking
kind of
about it.
messing around, yeah, but anyway.
All right.
You're hired.
Exactly what I was thinking. You've got it under control. Good.
Yeah, it's under control.
Perfect.
And what time are we supposed to be there?
Yeah, good question.
Well, that's right. We never did find out, did we?
We might want to be there.
Mimi better wake up or she's going to be late to kick butt. Mimi.
Well, the website says it starts at 4.
4.
And then
Oh.
if they have a sign up sheet,
Gotta
Like-
get there earlier.
yeah, I would suggest to get there at least by 3:30 if you wanted to. I did that once and I was like a number 16 or something. I certainly wasn't right on the beginning.
Right.
Even getting there 30 minutes early, there'd still been a lot of people that had signed up.
Well, I emailed Jen earlier today and let her know that we're still planning to be there. So, and the last time they did one there, they did the groups first, and so I assume we'll be early on, 4:30, something like that. So I guess we ought to arrive by 4. Yeah.
Yeah, she always planned to have the groups before that.
Okay. So I guess we better be there by 4 in case we go on like very first group, and we'll probably be done by 4:30 or 4:45, something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good.
I'm bringing people to applaud. I've got
Are
my
you?
entourage.
All right, cool.
All right. Yay. Always good to have an entourage.
Right.
I'll be there with Michelle, and she'll be bringing the gourd. She'll also be bringing that bass uke and amp.
Oh, okay, good. Great.
And I guess, and she'll be bringing our niece. So we probably won't hang out long after we're done playing. We'll probably head out because the niece will get bored pretty soon. So I won't get to see everybody play, all the individuals.
Ukuleles are so boring.
Yeah, to her they
How
are.
old is your niece?
10,
But she'll clap for us, right?
maybe.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Depending on her mood, obviously.
Right. Well, so, I have a few YouTube videos posted, and one of her favorite things to do is to go online and click the thumbs down button on my videos. So.
Aww.
Mean.
She is a mean girl, yes.
Oh, dear.
There's nothing you can do about it. She was born that way.
Oh, well.
Well, when my grandson was 2, I used to play the ukulele. I thought he'd think it was so exciting, and he'd scream. He'd put his hands on his ears and scream.
Ours really likes it. I mean, we're gonna, probably give him my little soprano ukulele at some point when he's big enough to hold it properly.
How old is he?
Indoctrinate him fast, so it won't be like Marty's grandchildren that aren't interested.
Well,
and he likes to sing, so I think that will work.
I don't have a lot of experience raising kids, but I have the impression you can't really choose their hobbies for them.
No.
Certainly couldn't choose my hobbies.
Maybe Mimi should play a song for us. Mimi.
I don't know how she didn't drop the computer.
So when you end the meeting, will that cut her off? I mean, will that? You'll be broadcasting to the.
I could. So I can either end the meeting for everybody, or I could assign her the job of being the host from then on, and she'll just be on until. I think that's what I'll do.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. So I have this chord finder book, and I was trying to, figure out what chords I was playing. And some of them have I'm telling you, 6 different names for the same thing. Like you look up something and it's one configuration, and there might be 7 different, chord names. I don't get that. Why? How is that, and why is that?
Paul knows that. He can tell you.
Paul, can you?
He's the expert when it comes
what
to
do you pick?
Well, so a common one, the one that everybody knows, is C6, is all the open strings, and that's also called A minor 7. And if you start on, so a C6 would be a C, an E, and a G, and the 6 would be an A. And so that's what you've got with the open strings. You've got a C, an E, a G, or maybe a high G, and an A. So that's a C6. But it's also an A minor 7, because an A minor 7 would be an A and a, let's see, what's the, and the C and the E. and the G would be the 7 in an A minor 7. So depending on which note you say is the sort of the name of the chord, it comes out different. And if you're playing in the key of A minor, then it's more likely you're going to choose to call it an A minor 7 than a C6. And if you're playing in C, you're more likely going to call it a C6.
Oh, well, it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
And I guess I should probably go to some sort of classes. That would help. But
Yeah.
and the other question I have is, if you play like this thing where you're playing a whole fret like that, are there chords that actually would sound better than doing that? I mean, is there a way to find an actual chord instead of like a bar thing sliding?
That's an actual chord in my book. And
Okay.
you see them all the time, so I think that's a perfectly acceptable chord to play. And in any given song, that may not be the chord that fits the best in that place, but just because it's easy to play doesn't make it not a chord. So I don't think you should be shy about those. And I think they sound great sliding up and down.
Related to the bar chords, I think I heard a story about Dolly Parton. She tunes her guitar such that all the chords she plays are bar chords. So she's not actually, because of her nails, it's just easier for her to play bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what that tuning is, but that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Open chord tuning.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I don't exactly understand that name because I get a chord when I strum my open strings as it stands, but I see it's common to tune that A down to a G, so I get a C major chord instead of a C6. So I could see sort of why it's different, but anyway.
Yeah, well, she's playing the guitar, Dolly Parton is, and she's got a couple of extra strings, and so there's a little more involved to tune it down, to an open chord. Or you can tune it up, like open G, open E, open D, or 3 different ones that I've heard people like to use. I think Hawaiians like to do open tuning.
I didn't know that. Do
Sorry,
they do that on their ukuleles too?
I don't know about the ukuleles. Yeah, this is just something about guitars, when I wasn't even playing the ukulele that I learned.
Call it slack key guitar in Hawaii.
But a ukulele's really easier to play than a guitar because it's only got 4 strings, and so it's you've already got an advantage. I don't see any reason to play an open tuned ukulele.
Right.
Yeah, those 2 extra strings are very intimidating to me. I have no interest in trying to figure that out. Oh, Dina, I noticed in your last
show called Play It Loud, and it was at the Metropolitan in New York.
Yeah.
And they had like all of the guitars from all of the greats, and then they had like close-up movies of them playing, and explaining how they tuned their guitars and how some of them were just so wacky. Like, I think it was Van Halen who just had this completely unique way of tuning his guitar to get the sound that he got. I didn't realize that it was that. I thought everybody had a standard way of doing it, but that show was just blew me away.
Yeah, alternate tunings I have not experimented with.
Mitchell was the queen of alternate tunings because she probably used, I think I read somewhere like 50 or 60 different open tunings.
Wow.
Who was this? Who did you say?
Who's that?
Joni Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Joni.
Yeah. I can imagine.
This one on the ukulele that I've used. It was like when I first became aware of Joni Mitchell and bought an album probably around 1969. And it's like, I tried to strum along with it, and it was just impossible because
She wasn't.
she wasn't playing. He has like maybe 2 songs that are in standard tuning, and everything else is in an open tuning, or in an alternate tuning, I guess you would say. So.
Well, when she first started out, she was playing a baritone ukulele, apparently.
Whoa.
Right.
Cool.
I was gonna say that too. A lot of people play baritone and then sort of go the next step to the guitar because it's the bottom 4 strings of the guitar, right, are the same as the standard tuning for a baritone.
Right.
Actually, a baritone is the top. Well, what I would call the top 4 strings, the high strings.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to your lap.
The bottom strings, the low sounding strings.
Yeah. I probably had the wrong terminology.
That's what everybody considers this down the neck, but this is up.
That's up. Yeah. Right.
Just
exactly.
The tone of the strings rather than
I meant the bottom 4 of the 6. That's what I meant.
The bottom for a bass guitar would be tuned that way. So you'd have you just have the low strings on a bass guitar.
Is Mimi still alive? I'm getting worried about Mimi.
You can see every once in a while.
Don't worry, her
Oh,
color is good.
Oh, okay, all right.
You
as
can
long as
see
she's
the-
breathing.
There she goes.
Oh, good, you're alive. We were
There she is.
There she is. Hey, hello, Mimi. We were worried about you.
I better
You're
go.
gonna need a chiropractor if you slept that like that too long.
Get some rest.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See you, Mimi.
Bye.
Folks, I'm gonna take off too.
Okay.
Funny.
So I will see you guys, I guess, on Saturday.
Good luck
We'll
with
see
the
you on
doctor. Good luck with
Thank
the doctor,
you.
Walter.
Really?
You all need it.
Sorry about your hand. I'm just now hearing about it today.
Just don't bruise your lips.
Yes.
No anything. No kazoo. No anything.
Good luck with your performances. Is
Okay.
it gonna be recorded and placed on YouTube or?
No.
They usually do.
Oh well.
Do they?
I don't know. who's
Kevin
gonna
used to
record it.
anyway.
Yeah, Kevin used to. That's true, but it seems like it's sort of hit or miss about whether any given performance gets recorded. There's nobody recording the whole thing.
They
that I
take
know of.
photographs, so you might, there might be a photograph of some of us, either the group or individual.
Right.
But yeah, I think that
Only some of us, though.
some.
Well, good luck anyways. Thank you.
You saw the
Yeah.
poster,
Good night.
right? Did you see the poster?
Yeah.
There's a poster out.
I hadn't seen it.
For the open
Oh,
mic.
I'll send it to you so you can send it. Paul, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really cool. It's nice. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Saturday.
All right, I'm
All
gonna,
right. See y'all Saturday.
gonna check out too here.
Okay.
We'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.